All right, we're going to wait for some folks to join us here live on this Thursday. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And we are live on Instagram as well. We are tracking Hurricane Helene, which is now strafing the Florida Gulf Coast. Just strafing the coast, meaning it's just scouring it. And what I want to do first here is I want to show you some live video. So let's get to some screen sharing here. See if I can find it. Let's do this one right here. I'm going to share the screen. Here it is. Let's make this full screen now. This is just incredible. So there it is. This is Helene's live stream. What you're seeing here are various cities and towns along the Florida Gulf Coast, including Sarasota, including Cedar Key. And the one up there by my picture is the Howard Franklin Bridge. That is in Tampa. And look at that camera just shaking. It is just, that bridge is closed, by the way. This is Tampa Bay, St. Pete. The hurricane is moving north of there. It is moving by there. It's not making landfall here, but the outer bands with 70+ mile-an-hour winds are just absolutely swamping the coast. And the one down here, this one here in the corner, this is Fort Myers Beach. This is Fort Myers, the bridge there, the Matlaca Bridge, eastbound. And the storm surge was just going under it like a river flowing at 50 miles an hour a little while ago. That bridge is still currently open, but there's been a lot of water going over that roadway. Again, right near Fort Myers, there's some emergency crews. There's some power crews going on the bridge right now. But you can see these are live pictures. Live pictures. So again, as folks join me, appreciate it. Make sure you type in who you are, where you're watching from. Again, we're on multiple platforms right now. I'm going to give you the 8 p.m. National Hurricane Center update. And of course, we all have friends. We all have family. We may ourselves have property, homes, campers, whatever, vacation spots in Florida. I want you to type in what city that you're familiar with, where you go, where you have friends and family, and tell me what they're experiencing right now if you happen to know. Here, we'll get some comments up real quickly as they come in. Let's do that again. Friends in Spring Hill, Florida, how bad are they getting it? West Coast is getting pounded with either anywhere from 40 to 80 mile an hour winds. So if they're along the West Coast, they're getting hammered. Thanks, Rebecca, for being here. Audrey Orville, prayers to all. You betcha. You betcha. Good sentiment there. Those are the current live pics that I want to show you. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to come back to this one, and we're going to go to our radar. We're going to go to our radar and show you what's going on, the position. Hold on, I guess I got to pull the radar up. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Let me just diminish this one right here. I'm going to get the radar up. Look at those pictures. Look at those waves crashing up there in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's not in the hurricane warning area. It's not. Tampa Bay's not in the hurricane warned area. Wow. Okay, so here we have it. Let's load this again. Here it comes. Now I'm going to show it to you. We're going to present it to you now. Screen share. Here's the radar. Ready? Here it comes. Boom. Now this thing has to reload a little bit. In fact, it'd be better if I just kind of stopped it. All right, let's kind of stop it. You can see that eye. That eye is just going crazy. And hide that there. So here's where we are. And you can see we've got tornado watches and warnings out all throughout the Tampa Bay, Central Florida area. There's tornado warnings south toward Cape Coral. They're moving up toward Winter Haven. You can see those little tornado warned storms popping up. But what I want to do here is I want to Let me get this out of full screen mode so that I can pause it for you. Anyway, there it is. So I'm going to pause this. This is, and then we'll take it back to full screen. So there's the eye. As you can see, the convection, the thunderstorm activity is centered to the north and to the east of the eye. And it's pretty intense. And you can see these feeder bands coming in to shore here. All of these feeder bands coming in to, again, you're talking St. Petersburg. You can see these feeder bands just coming on shore into Clearwater, Tarpon Springs, Bayonet Point. These are heavy downpours with, 40 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts right along the shoreline, all the way down to Sarasota, Laurel, Inglewood. There's Port Charlotte, Cape Coral. You can see that feeder band coming on shore producing potential tornadoes. Look at all these spinning thunderstorms here that are just outside of the radar, right in here. All of these thunderstorms here are spinning, so they could easily produce weak EF0, EF1 tornadoes, maybe even an EF2 tornado. That's one of the threats from a hurricane right there. So pretty impressive. Wow. Pretty impressive right there. So here's where we are. Here's the eye. And again, the eye is going to move north, and it's going to come right into, I would say, close to St. Mark's, but it may be just a little bit east of St. Mark's. So there's St. Mark's right there. There's Tallahassee. Why don't we switch to the Tallahassee radar for a minute? Okay, we'll switch to the Tallahassee radar. Boop, boop, boop. Let's do it. Takes it a minute. The computer's got to think. Computer's got to think. There's St. Mark's. There's Perry. There's some of these small little, beach towns over here. Right in here is where this thing is going to come on shore. Now, yes, there's a lot of swampland here. That's good because they're going to have a 15 to 20 foot storm surge with this thing. Absolutely incredible, the storm surge that they're going to have here. Look at that eye. Look at that eye right there. There's Horseshoe Beach, Cedar Key getting pounded with some of these outer bands. Now, the eye wall is right here. That's where your strongest winds are going to be, right in here, okay? That's where your strongest winds are going to be. Strongest winds are going to be right there. Let's see what kind of questions we got. Watching from Barberton, I was in Hurricane Hugo. Yeah, 1989, when I lived in North Carolina, South Carolina border. This is a major storm. This is a major storm. Just looking at those live pictures of people already getting pounded. Already getting pounded. Treasure Island is flooded. Absolutely. 100%. Treasure Island is flooded. Sarasota is flooded. Thank you, Linda. People, I sure hope, got out. Most of them did. There was a 14-county mandatory evacuation. Mandatory meaning we're telling you you should leave. We're going to come all the way up to the point where we, arrest you and escort you to a car. But a mandatory evacuation is absolutely as strong a wording as you can have about a hurricane like this. But they're going to be diehards. There are going to be diehards. Sandra Gale from Phoenix, love having you. Thank you very much. Louisville, yes, indeed. There's Audrey. We've got Donna from Navarre. Dr. Rick Book. Yeah, really. Let's see. Uniontown, love it. If you've got places, favorite spots in Florida, if you've got friends in Florida, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you are, what areas, and, if you've heard from these friends and family members and how they're doing and where they've evacuated to. Put those in the comments so that we can share them. What other states could get hit? Great question. Great question. So this is a multi-threat hurricane. Of course, you have the winds. Right now, it's a Category 4 hurricane. Sustained winds at 130 miles an hour with gusts to 145. Now, that's primarily in this eye wall right here. In this eye wall. See that? It's in the eye wall. I can get rid of some of that stuff. There it is. That's where the 145 mile an hour wind gusts are, right in the eye wall. So if you're right in the eye wall, you're going to get that major winds. But even I mean, the hurricane force winds extend out a couple hundred miles, well, at least 100 miles from the center of this storm. Tropical storm force winds extend out 150 to 200 miles around this storm. So tropical storm force winds in Tampa, in St. Pete, in Port Charlotte, in Cape Coral, in Fort Myers. The storm is pulling away. It's moving at 23 miles per hour to the north-northeast. So again, it's a little while away from landfall, maybe 2 hours away, between 10 and 11 p.m. So you've got that first, you got the major winds that are going to cause damage. Then you've got the storm surge, because these high winds, especially on the east side of this system, are going to push all of that ocean water up against this horseshoe. I mean, this cove, if you will, the Big Bend area of Florida. It's piling that water in. So we're going to have storm surges 15 to 20 feet high. Now, how high is that? Imagine where you live. Many of you live in a 2-story home. Okay, let's say each story is 9 feet. That's 18 feet, and it's above your second story. Add another 2 feet on, plus waves on top of that. So this, if you had a 2-story home, this feasibly could inundate your entire home all the way over your roof with the wave action. So again, pounding seas and pounding waves, that's where you get the damage. So you got the storm surge. You got the high winds from the hurricane. You've got tornado threats all around. You got tornado watches up here all the way into southern Georgia, the Florida Panhandle, tornado watches out. You got tornado watches right now all the way into South Carolina. All right, there's a tornado warning right there. There's a tornado warning right there near Walterboro, just north of Beaufort, South Carolina, north of Hilton Head. I mean, and just to the west of Charleston. Tornado warning right there. And this is all caused by the hurricane. So you got tornado warnings right here. Here's a tornado warning there. Near Brunswick, Georgia. Tornado warning in effect. You've got tornado watches and warnings. So you have the high winds from the storm. You have the storm surge 15 to 20 feet. You have tornado threats. And here's another problem we're going to have. You're going to have incredible rainfall amounts, especially the southern Appalachians. Now imagine you're up here near Atlanta. Southern Appalachians here. Augusta, Athens, Greenville, South Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina. The southern Appalachian Mountains are going to get 15 to 24 inches of rain from this storm, beginning right now, all the way through tomorrow. That is going to cause catastrophic flooding. Already there are flood warnings out right up in here. In fact, let me see if I can change the radar. It doesn't like to do it, but okay. Anyway, you can see where we have tornado watches out. There are a few tornado warnings. You've got hurricane warnings all the way into southern Georgia. This will be a Category 2 hurricane all the way up toward Albany, Georgia. It might be still a hurricane as it hits Atlanta. It still could be a weak minimal Category 1 hurricane or a strong tropical storm as it reaches Atlanta. Craziness. All right, back down here. Here's the eye. There is the eye right in there. Wow. This is what I want to do. What I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to go back to Here's what I want to do. I want to go back to the video that we have for those just joining us. Now, first thing I want you to do here is like and share this video, please. And this is where I do all my severe weather coverage from now on, this particular page. So please, 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 please follow this page. You may be following my other personal page where I post a lot of fun stuff with my pets and things like that. But if you want severe weather coverage and gardening coverage, it's right here on this page. So please hit the follow button right now. Would you do that for me, please? Hit that follow button. I really, really would appreciate it if you'd hit the follow button. So I want to get back to, let's see if we can find those live pictures again. Here they are. Let's bring them up. I'm going to share the screen. You ready? This is quite impressive. All right, we're going to share this. Wow. Again, you got Tampa right up in this corner. I'm going to show you the cursor. There's Tampa right there. This is Fort Myers right in here. This is Hampton Spring Avenue. This, I think, is Sarasota. You got Bradenton, Sarasota. We even had Cedar Key up here for a while. The good news is some of the flooding in our far southern areas, like around Bradenton, is beginning to subside. You're not seeing those monster wind gusts. Of course, up here in Tampa, it's still going crazy. It is still going crazy. Let's see who we have. Good. You're already following me, Caleb. I appreciate it. Caleb is watching from Adrian, Michigan. Caleb, love having you here, buddy. Love having you here. That is fantastic. Love it. Friends in Bradenton. The good news, Bradenton, again, we just chatted about Bradenton. They had a lot of tropical storm force winds with wind gusts to 75 miles per hour. They had a lot of storm surge flooding in there. But as the storm pulls away, we're beginning to see those winds subside and the storm surge flooding beginning to subside as well. Family on Northport and Jacksonville, Leesburg, and the Panhandle. Well, the Panhandle is going to get hammered, Regina. Believe it or not, there are going to be impacts from this storm even on the east coast of Florida. You've got the tornado threat. You've got high winds wrapping around to the east coast, 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts there. 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Family, Palm Coast and Tallahassee. Well, tell me, Levon, what your family is doing in Tallahassee right now and along the Palm Coast. What precautions have they taken? What are they saying to you? What are they seeing? Where are they now? Asheville, North Carolina. I hope you're texting your friends in Asheville about, I'm sure they're aware, but there's some monster flooding coming their way. Atlanta, Georgia, high winds, very, very heavy rain, and some flooding there. Love this. This is great. Love hearing about where you have friends and family. Janie, a friend, place in Fort Myers. Yeah, you can watch your property. The good news about Fort Myers is, yes, there have been some storm surge flooding there, but inland areas have seen strong winds, but haven't heard of any, major damage, which is great. And now it's moving north. How about Inglewood? How are they doing? If they're on the west coast of Florida, they're getting hammered with storm surge. They're getting tropical storm force to hurricane force winds. But the farther north this moves, you're going to begin to see things calm down from the Keys up through Naples, up through all the way up into Fort Myers. Fort Myers is beginning to calm down a little bit. There's Fort Myers down here in the bottom. Let's see, the bottom right is Fort Myers. Tampa, that bridge is still getting hammered. That bridge is still, look at the surf blowing up onto the bridge now. That's Tampa right there. Do you see that? That is Tampa in the top right corner by my face. Unbelievable. Okay. I'm going to stop this screen here. We're going to bring the radar back. We are going to bring the radar back. I like saying that. Thank you all for being here. We've got several of you here. Appreciate it. Don't forget to share this with friends and family. We all know people in Florida, don't we? We all know people in Florida. We have interests in Florida. Florida is known as Little Ohio. There's a reason for that. We all have connections to Florida, either to the people, either to special places that we really enjoy. Whatever the reason, we all have connections to Florida. We all have connections to Florida. All right, let's see if we can get this back on. I'm going to bring the radar back. All right, going to bring the radar back. We're going to share this screen one more time. Again, this storm is a couple of hours away from landfall. Its forward motion is it slowed a little bit based on model runs earlier this week. Earlier this week, it had the eye reaching at about 8 p.m. Well, again, it's still a couple of hours away. It's moving north at about 23, 24 miles per hour. So it is moving rather quickly. But look at those Look at the eye wall bands here. Look at that. Just monster. Heavy, 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 heavy stuff. Heavy, 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 heavy stuff. All right, so I think I'm going to telestrate a little bit, okay? Do you mind? Do you mind if I telestrate? Let's bring the telestration up. Okay, so we're going to do this. So here's your eye wall. Whoop, sorry. Here's your eye wall. Let's get rid of these things first. Let's go over to here. Is that better? I think so. I think this will be better. Okay, so here's your eye wall right in here, okay? And your highest wind speeds are going to be right where the eye wall is, right in here. Your highest wind speeds are going to be on this side of the eye wall. Boy, I wish I could draw today. I wish I could draw today. So here's the wind coming in to the center. Here are these spiral rain bands coming on shore right in here. And again, with tornadoes. So your highest wind speeds are going to be right in here on this side of the storm. Because remember, on this side of the storm, it's moving. The storm is rotating to the south on the west side of the eye. So your strongest winds are going to be on the east side of the eye. Okay? The east side of the eye. That's where they're going to be. East side of the eye. So right in here is where you're going to have your strongest winds. Right in there. And that's all going to head right up here towards St. Mark's. Right in there. Steinhatchee Beach is over in here. Of course, Tallahassee right up in there. Tallahassee's right up in there. Just really incredible stuff. Really incredible stuff. So Category 4 storm, this is Helene. The eye is approaching the Big Bend region of the Florida Gulf Coast. And all afternoon long, it's been just strafing the western coast of Florida, all the way from Naples, all the way up through Sarasota, Tampa Bay, and now approaching Cedar Key with some high winds, wind gusts above 70 miles per hour there. Hurricane force winds beginning to reach that Big Bend area as this system continues to move north at about 23 miles per hour. There's Perry, there's Tallahassee. There it is right there, Tallahassee, Florida. Just a really big storm, really big hurricane, really big hurricane. You can see all the warnings around. What are all these colors all over Florida? Well, of course, you have hurricane warnings. You've got hurricane warnings all the way out here. Look at tropical storm warnings all the way to the east coast of Florida. Tropical storm warnings. Follow my cursor. From Daytona Beach, you've got tropical storm warnings on the other side of the state because you got winds kind of wrapping up the coastline there, 30 to 50 miles per hour. Even Miami, you've got a tropical storm warning for Miami, Florida. For Miami, Florida. Right in there. Let's see what the rains are doing there. You've got some outer feeder bands there. Not a lot of rain for Miami. Not a lot of rain, as you can see. You can see Naples, Coral Gables. They're getting some of those feeder bands that have some bursts of heavy rain. Now, I want to switch to the Tallahassee radar here. So we're going to bring the Tallahassee radar on. We're going to get a much closer vantage point of this system. There it is. So there's Tallahassee. Look at all that heavy rain all the way over to Panama City, Mariana. Tallahassee is getting some incredible heavy rainfall right now. You've got rain up into Valdosta, Georgia. How about Americus, Georgia to Albany, Georgia? You got this heavy, heavy rain. You've got tornado watches out there. You've got flood watches out, some flood warnings. So you got a hurricane warning, a tornado watch, and a flood watch for Albany, Georgia. Okay? Here's Douglas, Georgia. Hurricane warning, tornado watch, and a flood watch. Jessup, tropical storm warning, tornado watch, and a flood watch. How about Lake City? Hurricane warning. Florida now. Hurricane warning, tornado watch, and a flood watch. And of course, Tallahassee. Flash flood warning in effect for Tallahassee. Hurricane warning, flood warning, just all over the place. Flood warnings. So the flood warnings have already begun. And they're going to see, again, especially close to the eye walls here, you're going to see 12 to 18 inches of rain as the storm moves on shore in southern Florida. But as the storm travels up near the mountains, that's where it's going to wring out so much more moisture from the atmosphere and from the clouds, because when you lift, any air mass up into the sky and up and over mountains, you get condensation. You get more condensation, more rainfall. So they're going to get more rain in the mountains, from Albany up to Cochrane, up into Athens, Greenville, Asheville, North Carolina, Hickory. They're going to see 12 to 24 inches of rain here. So catastrophic flooding. There's a tornado right there, tornado warning for Danville, North Carolina. Shall we go to our, this would be our Raleigh-Durham radar here. So there's the tornado warning. Let's zoom on in on that, okay? Whoa. Wow, that got a little crazy. So look, what do we see here? Well, we see a little hook echo right in here. Tornado warning. It's a little hook echo. That's what these hurricanes produce. Oftentimes, a ton of tornadoes. So you can have dozens of tornadoes. You've got flash flooding issues that could cause catastrophic flooding. You've got storm surge that causes massive amounts of damage. And of course, you got the high winds. Let's go back to Tallahassee. Boom. Bring on the radar. Let's load that radar up. Look at all the warnings for Tallahassee. Flash flood warning, hurricane warning, flood warning, tornado watch, flood watch. Crazy. All right, we're going to try and ingest some new data here from the Tallahassee radar. There's the eye, and the eye is tight. The eye is really tightened up. So it's a tight eye. And the reason you don't see all the precip going around the eye in this particular case is because the radar out at Tallahassee has to shoot through a massive amount of rain, heavy rain. It's got to shoot through it, and it doesn't always, not all of the beam gets through it to be able to see what's back here on the back side of that. Just amazing. Let's see what we have over here. Plains, Georgia. Plains, Georgia is going to get heavy rain, tornadoes, and hurricane force winds. Okay. Let's see. Ohioans in Kiowa Island, South Carolina right now. Should we be concerned with more than some wind and rain? Oh, Brittany, I'm glad you asked. Let's go up here to Kiowa Island near Charleston and show you what we have. Here's Charleston. Kiowa Island's here. You've got tornado watches out, okay? You've got a tropical storm warning for Kiowa Island. I'm going to show you the radar. So you got a tornado warning just to your north. There's Modesto Beach. This Kiowa is down in here. There's Kiowa right there. So you've got a lot of wind. You've got a tropical storm warning now, a tornado watch. You've got a flood advisory, a high surf advisory, and a rip current statement. Please tell me, Brittany, you're not going in the water for the next couple of days, right? Give me a thumbs up on that. So there's Kiowa Island. Here's your tornado warning right here. Expires in 7 minutes near Walterboro. But any rain band that comes on shore near Kiowa, anywhere, could, have that brief little weak spin on it. So please keep that in mind. Hopefully you brought some games with you so the kids can play. That would be smart. Keep them indoors. Caleb says, my dad is also watching from Willis, Michigan. Love it, Caleb. Hey, Caleb's dad, how are you? Outside of Ann Arbor. Will the Cincinnati, Williamstown, Kentucky area see severe weather this weekend? No, Amanda. There's a wind advisory out for the Cincinnati area for tomorrow into Saturday morning. You're going to have some rain, could be heavy. You're going to have some wind gusts to 50 miles per hour. Now, that could produce maybe some power outages, maybe a little bit of damage here and there. But we're not expecting monster hurricanes or, tornado warnings would be few and far between. Few and far between. Conserving technology, power prepped, not their first rodeo. Okay, the Florida folks know how to do this. Asheville working from home, praying and being prepared. The Asheville folks really need to be prepared for 20 inches of rain or 15 inches of rain. That is what they need to prepare for. Okay? Caleb says, weather is good in Michigan. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Tracy, following from Triscuit Road. Excellent. Love this. Remember to like and follow this page, please. We want to get the followers up so that Facebook begins to push this page out a little bit more, because this is where I'm going to be doing all my severe weather coverage as we head into winter. I'll be doing my winter forecast right here. So make sure you share this, like this page, and follow. Is Orlando going to be impacted? Yes, they got tropical storm force winds in Orlando. Okay, if we go down to Orlando, there's another tornado warning there. All right. Let's go down toward Orlando. Can you hear the drums, Orlando? Oh, that's not how the song goes, right? So what's in Orlando? Tropical storm warning, tornado watch, and a flood watch. There's the Orlando radar. Storms are to the west of Orlando, but again, there's a tornado watch out. So there could be some sort of spin up. Weak spin up there. Just checking around before we go back to Tallahassee. I really appreciate everybody joining me for this. We're going to be on for a few more minutes. And then I think as we get closer to 11, the storm is actually going to make landfall. So I really want to encourage everybody to turn on News 5 at 11. We're going to go live from the storm zone. And then I'm going to update you on where the eye is, the speed, all of that. And of course, impacts along the route, impacts into Ohio. Okay? Impacts into Ohio. So let's get rid of that. Thank you, Caleb. You like the page. Appreciate it. Follow the page too. Please follow the page. Follow, share, share, share. Spring Hill, Florida. If Spring Hill is, everybody in Florida is under either a hurricane warning, the northern third of Florida, or a tropical storm warning, the southern 2/3 of Florida. Everybody. East Coast all the way to the West Coast. Okay? So Orlando's a tropical storm warning. Tampa Bay's tropical storm warning. Farther south, tropical storm warning. Now to the north of that, Gainesville, you're talking, let's go to Gainesville. Hurricane warning. Lake City, hurricane warning. You've got a storm surge warning on the Big Bend area. Okay, hurricane warning, tornado watch. Tornado watch. Look at that thing churning. Churning. So if you know where you are in Florida, East Coast, West Coast, everybody's impacted. Everybody's impacted. I don't know which jingle I was humming when I first came on. I really don't remember. Thank you for the likes. Make sure you give me some hearts, please. Give me some hearts so Facebook will push this out to people who really need to watch this. Again, a live look at Hurricane Helene, a major Category 4 hurricane with winds to sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. Wind gust to 145. It's about 2 hours south of Tallahassee. So it's going to make landfall somewhere around between St. Mark's and Perry, Florida. I would say between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. Okay. Let's see. Paula says, my son is in Saudi Daisy, Tennessee. They have rain already. Absolutely. I mean, the rain is stretching all the way into Tennessee already and Kentucky. So, what we're going to do here, impacts, there are many of them. You've got incredible damaging winds. You've got incredible storm surge of 15 to 25 feet near the eye walls and to the east of the eye walls. You've got tornado problems. You've got tornadoes that'll form in these feeder bands, these outer bands. You've got catastrophic flooding on its way into the southern Appalachian Mountains, and even wind advisories all the way into southern Ohio for tomorrow into Saturday. Greater Cleveland, northern Ohio's impacts, Akron, Canton. We're going to have wind gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Friday afternoon, Friday night into Saturday morning. It's going to be a breezy weekend with wind gusts, 20, 25, 30 miles per hour at times until this storm system pulls out. We're going to have some showers here in northern Ohio as early as Friday afternoon into your high school football Friday night. There could be some showers, plus you got those wind gusts above 30 miles per hour for high school football. Saturday looks dry in the morning. We'll see a few more showers rotating in during the afternoon. Saturday night and Sunday, more scattered rain showers. I think the best chance for the strongest winds will be Friday afternoon through Saturday morning here in northern Ohio. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Caleb, hopefully that gives you the information that you wanted. Anyway, I love having everybody here. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the hearts. Thank you for the shares. Continue to share this with friends and family who need to know. We all have Florida connections. Tonight at 11 on News 5, we are definitely going to track this in, giving you the latest. We'll show you where the storm is. And if it's not on land, it's going to be awful close at 11 o'clock. It's going to be awful close. And if necessary, I'll come back on after the 11 o'clock news, and we'll do more live if conditions warrant. But this is a big one. Category 4. I appreciate everybody being here. Join us tonight, News 5 at 11. Please set your Alexa or your Siri for 11 p.m. Tune in. We'll have the latest live reports from Florida and, of course, my live weather updates as well. Pictures, everything we can get for you, we will have for you. Anyway, I appreciate everybody here on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube for joining in. And we'll see you tonight, News 5 at 11. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.